While brutality marks today's drug culture, it was the age of drugs and flower children 20 years ago that gave birth to the Haight Ashbury Free Medical Clinic. As the clinic marks its 20th anniversary this week, Sherry Hu looks at its continuing tradition of reaching out to the strung out and poor.
Drop the name Haight Ashbury Free Clinic and a lot of people think of a hippie health clinic. True, it was conceived during the summer of love. If it hadn't been for flower children overdosing on LSD, the clinic probably wouldn't have been born. Today, 20 years later, the clinic is still alive and well and still free.
What we're trying to do is to combine the technology of the 80s with the values of the 60s.
Dr. David Smith has nursed the clinic from birth to adulthood. Today, the hippies are long gone, and in their places are what Smith calls the working poor, folks from all walks of life who either can't afford or want establishment-type medical care. Take Posey Tibbin. She says she's been a patient here at the clinic for years.
I think just by nature of it being smaller, it can be more personal. That's one big thing. And, of course, a private doctor's office can also it can also afford you that. But, of course, that's, the price is sky high.
Tibbin has come in for a session with a chiropractor. Dealing with drug problems is still part of the clinic's work, but health needs have changed over the last 2 decades. In 1967, the year the clinic opened, it survived on $25,000, mainly donations from rock and roll and passing the hat. 20 years later, and times are still tight, even though a big chunk of the budget comes from government funding. Nowadays, the Haight Clinic operates on a $3 million budget. The philosophy of the 60s is still alive at this clinic, in the same building where it opened its doors 20 years ago this week. In San Francisco, Sherry Hu, Channel 5 Eyewitness News, Nightcast.
And tomorrow night, a big fundraiser for the Free Clinic, a 20th anniversary benefit that will be held at the Great American Music Hall.